So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to this segment, the episode number 38 of Travel Updates with Tanvi Goel of Oz India Travels. And Tanvi, once again, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Umeji. Sorry, guys, my voice is a bit funny today, but I'm sure you can and make out what I'm talking. So thank you once again for such an overwhelming response and for so many questions as well. We have added few more this time. And just a disclaimer, any discussion we do today in this episode as well, all general information only. As you know, the rules and regulations can change any time. So please keep yourself updated with that too.
And of course, rules and regulations can change at any times, as is happening in these uncertain times. In some areas, restrictions are easing. Some areas, they are being tightened, as has been the case in some of the countries, which we will probably talk about. But moving on with the show, Tanvi, once again, the congratulations on your birthday last week, and of course, oh my God, you nearly brought the internet down with all the number of wishes that came. But once again, we'd like to wish you once again, and thank you so much for all that you do. And right now, here on episode 38, let's get into the show. So at this point in time, under all these uncertain circumstances, I should say, who can fly from Australia to India?
So guys, it's the same like it was last week. All the Indian citizens on tourist visa or the temporary visas can fly. There is no problem. Still Australian citizens, PR, can apply for exemptions based on those categories, which are mainly for emergency reasons. If someone got parents or family members sick back home, if there is any unfortunate death in family, or if someone wants to bring their minors, these are the main three conditions which you can apply exemption. Remember, exemptions are a little bit slow these days. Sometimes it's taking up to 10 days as well, and sometimes it's early. So I would say when you prepare your application, please make sure you really do it nicely and don't change the reasons as well. That will be really a big tip to you guys. So flights are going pretty much from all the cities, and yeah, it's all up running. Amazing.
So it is all happening, and once again, under those rules and regulations only. So what are the flight options from Brisbane at this point in time?
So from Brisbane, we have Emirates and Qatar, both are flying nicely. So Emirates, once again, going every Fridays and Sundays, and Qatar also going a couple of days a week. Once again, the difference is in Emirates, you have option to take a lounge or hotel, free of charges as well. In Qatar, you have you can only take lounges by paying extra, which is minimum $80 for just 6 hours. So just choose which option you want to go for. So from Brisbane, the flight is on 9th, 11th, 16th, and 18th. And the Qatar option is 8th, 10th, 13th, and 15th of July. And after that, also every week we have flights up till at least for the rest of the year. Amazing. Okay,
so that is very good that we have those many flights that are happening out of Brisbane at this point in time. Well, moving on, let's go to Sydney and let's take a look at what's happening from there. What sort of flight options are available.
From Sydney also we have flights going as usual to international destinations, though the domestics have really, kind of changing. But Emirates and Qatar are there from Sydney as well. So every Tuesdays there is a flight of Emirates, which is going regularly without any issues. This is the one which I would recommend you the most. But other than that, we have flights on Thursdays and some Qatar flights as well. So Emirates flight is on 11th, 13th, 17th, and 19th. And the Qatar flight is on 8th, 10th, 13th, 16th from Sydney.
So there you go, those flights are happening. It is very good to see. Well, of course, one of the states which is sort of coming out of a little bit of restrictions or have been announced that they will be coming out of restrictions. So what are the flight options from Melbourne?
Melbourne got really amazing flights. There is no problem whatsoever. So a couple of flights at least a week. That's Emirates flight every Wednesdays and Saturdays are doing absolutely great. Other than that, we have a Qatar flights as well, which is 10th, 12th, 14th, and 16th. And Emirates flight is on 9th, 14th, 17th, 21. And after that as well, 2 flights a week, at least you have for the rest of the year.
Okay, moving on to the other side of the country, not too far from Melbourne, Adelaide. So what are the flight options from Adelaide?
So from Adelaide, as I mentioned before as well, there is no direct flight. So you have to take at least 2 stops flight. So in majority of cases, since there is, lockdowns and stuff in Sydney, we are connecting most of the people via Melbourne at this stage. So as I said, from Melbourne, Wednesdays and Saturdays are the most reliable flights. And that's the same thing I would recommend for Adelaide guys to fly on Wednesdays and Saturdays are good. We can connect you, within the same itinerary from Melbourne. But we generally like to give you a morning flight so that if there is anything happens, then we can cover you up. And generally there is only one direct flight in the morning. Or if you have someone and there's a possibility, we will recommend it to go day before to Melbourne and then take the next flight next day. So flight exactly the same like Melbourne. So 9, 14, 17, 21, the Emirates option, and Qatar options are 10, 12, 14, and 16. Want to tell you guys one more thing. Emirates flights from Australia is flying around 9 p.m. every night. And Qatar flights are departing 10 p.m., which means if you are connecting from Adelaide, you have no problem. You can always take the morning flight, and the same day you can fly from Melbourne as well.
Okay, so now if we move on to Western Australia, so Perth, what are the updates from Perth?
So from Perth, we have one-stop flights as well, which is going fine. The only thing you have to remember is the Delhi flights are doing good. They are just 4.5 hours halt option, but some other sectors have been removed. So for example, if you want to go to Kolkata, you can't get a direct flight from Perth to Dubai to Kolkata. You have to go either via Melbourne or you have to go via Delhi to Kolkata. So you have to really decide, which option you really want to take. I generally recommend you to go via Melbourne if you're going to other cities. Or rather than going Delhi, because you might not have that many good connections for Ahmedabad, Kolkata, or the small airports. But we have plenty of flights from Perth can be connected as well. So Emirates flight direct ones are 11, 13, 15, and Qatar flights are 11, 14, 16, and after that also 2 flights a week. So no problem.
Okay, so right now, the big question that people always have on their minds, and of course many people are concerned about that, is Australians coming back to Australia from India. So any updates from India to Australia?
India to Australia is really getting a little bit strict from last week. You guys must have already heard that from 14th July, the caps might reduce by 50%, which will be really big deal. But we're expecting, it may ease down soon as well. So far, any of the people we have booked in July onwards as well, no flight has been cancelled. So please don't worry about, the rumors you hear that all flights getting cancelled from India to Australia, nothing like that. It's just those who have, paid maybe the smaller, small fares, or those who have booked on overcap might have got a message that their flight is cancelled, but it's not actual flight cancelled, just a particular person's flight got cancelled. Just remember that. So other than that, guys, the Qatar and Japan Airlines is doing absolutely fine from India. If you think you can come 22nd September after, I would highly recommend you to book now, because these economy seats are really getting up very fast. And as we go close to the date, we have to book the last minute fares, which are a lot more expensive. It doesn't mean that you can't book before. If you want to still come back in July, August, you can still try those last minute fares, or you can apply with DFAT. They have got quite a few flights coming up. The only thing, you have to quarantine Delhi for 3 days, which you have to plan pretty much in advance, and keep checking your emails for that as well. So DFAT flights are coming up, quite regularly these days, which you can apply, and last minute flights are also there. And also you can book the Japan Airlines flight, which is pretty much every Wednesdays from Delhi to Sydney, which you can plan as well. So flights are definitely less. You have to plan a little bit in advance. And also I've seen there are some charters also coming up, which you can think of. But once again, please make a very informed decision, whichever option you take. Because cancellation policies are really very, very strict in case of charters, especially that you can't cancel, you can't change. That means, and fare is minimum $5,000. Remember that, which means you're losing the whole money in case someone gets COVID last minute. So there are options, but little bit less these days, and I hope we'll have more options later on. Also, share with the students over there that I was reading other news that not many students have signed up so far with Indian High Commission, which we have been sharing with you guys from over a month now. So I would really request all the students up there, please register with Indian High Commission. The website is www.hcicanberra.gov.in/student standard register. So please jump on that link and register yourself. Other than that, we might have Emirates open maybe after 21st of July. And we are expecting Maldives also might open in the next couple of weeks, just for your information. And Sri Lankan Airlines seems started from Sri Lanka to Australia, but still nothing from India to Sri Lanka. So if you see that Sri Lankan Airlines is there, I would not recommend you to book at this stage, because right now going with two different countries is a little bit risky, because every country might have different rules and regulations. So just avoid that. So I would recommend you DFAT, Qatar or Japan Airlines at this stage from India to Australia.
Okay, yes. I think that's a very good sound advice there about getting, and so and we have touched on who can fly, and of course the documents that are required as well. So that is very important. So coming down, locally and nationally. So what's happening nationally? Now that we are here. And there's so much to be done, so much to be explored. So what's happening on the local scene nationally?
So local, I saw another really good news, guys. So if you remember, last few months we have been discussing about the loyalty program launched by Virgin Australia and 7-Eleven, which was, I think, really going good. I was even using 7-Eleven a lot these days. Similar kind of loyalty program. Qantas has also launched. Which is actually with BP. So those who are, generally do fueling with BP, now you have option to, earn some points for Qantas as well. So Qantas frequent flyer members can earn now 50 status credits by filling up BP fuel under the limited offers, which was announced early this week. This is the first time BP has offered Qantas status credits as part of their loyalty program, which is, I think, amazing. So to receive this bonus, customer must join BP Rewards program if you have not done that already, and you have to fill up at least 5 times by 30th of September. Minimum spend is $50 per visit, and Qantas points are also earned on all the eligible BP purchases. So remember, now you have chance to earn the Qantas points as well. So it depends if you want to fly with Virgin, fuel with 7-Eleven, if you want to fly with Qantas, fuel with BP. So that's really, I think, amazing thing. Other is from REX Airlines. So since there were a lot of lockdowns and lots of people have applied for refunds, so they have really came up with something really great. So REX Airlines has created a dedicated portal to process a COVID refund request. That they said will be eligible tickets can be refunded to all the passengers in their bank of around 7 days of their request, which is really very big deal. But yes, they have got a special platform for that. And, if you have booked any of those flights and want to apply for refund, you can do so. Just jump on their website and you will get the details. Other is from Virgin Australia. So Virgin Australia has launched a social media poll to gauge public support for the whether customers are keen to allow pets on planes ahead of the rule change by Civil Aviation Safety Authority coming in effect later this year. So if you're a pet lover, you want to take those, then please, go and, go on that poll and tell what you really want to do. Though the Qatar and Jetstar have already ruled out changing their current policies, but both Virgin Australia and REX are still receptive to this idea. So your views, your suggestions really doesn't matter a lot. So please jump on the website and do the poll so they know what exactly you guys want them to do. Next is, guys, just want to tell there are really not many updates these days because, they were Sydney was in lockdown and New Zealand was paused. So many things were happening. But it's still within your own city, within your own state, wherever there is not a red zone areas, you can still fly and go around. There is no problem with that. So you can also jump on our website if you are lacking on ideas or anything. There are lot of ideas of all the cities. You can buy, the theme parks. You can go on little cruises. You can just do a little getaway of, weekend or a day trip or something like that. So you can jump on www.ausindiatravel.com.au, and there are so many options, so many discounted trips as well, which you can see, and there's a all terms and conditions as well, which you can go through. Majority of vendors these days are giving you very flexible options where you can apply for the refund or you can change few times. They're not charging you much as well. So yes, plenty of options. You can still smile. We are in Australia where things are still much better than if you see world around. We are so lucky over here. It's just we have to be a little bit more practical and a little bit more hygienic, and make sure you wear the mask and do all the right thing, and Australia will be keep going. So these are the main update national at this stage.
Oh, that's wonderful to see that there are lots that's happening there, and of course that Rex, the regional airlines, the dedicated portal, and so all these little elements. I'm not quite sure about the pets on the plane. But I mean, if they have a dedicated area, probably okay. Yeah, the first time I saw that was in America, because in America they had on the domestic flights. I jumped on the flight and there was this guy coming in with this little dog. I said, wow, yeah, that was a bit of a surprise for me. Okay, so moving on from all the national updates that you have quite well covered, let's look at the international scene. So, I think this is what, people are a bit curious about, that what can be done at this point in time, what's open. So, anything interesting in the international scene?
Okay, so I think first thing is definitely, guys, I think you have been waiting to hear what's happening in Trans-Tasmanian bubble with New Zealand. So New Zealand flights already resumed for Western Australia and Northern Territory from 10th of July onwards. So if you have booked any of those flights, you can, change your flights. And I think for majority of flights, they are giving you option that for next 2 weeks or so, you can change your date and they won't charge you any tax or fare differences, which is quite cool. So if you want to change it, make sure you do it within 14 days. So, you're not affected with prices. And it's really going crazy from yesterday since they opened, because everyone is just keep booking that. So especially it's a little bit hard for those who are family of 3 or 4, because there are not many availabilities, but at least, you have options. So please make sure you change it, or you can check how many months of validity they have if you can't fly at this stage. And I know the school, holidays is going to go, and then, kids can't go very much. So, but there are quite a few options that you can discuss with them or with your agent, whether you can make your ticket open for several months or you want to rebook it. For New South Wales and Queensland, seems it's still on pause until further notice. And when the numbers goes down, then maybe it will open. For Queensland, please keep checking again, because yesterday we heard that it's open, and today we got the information again it's paused. So please keep checking that, because we never know tomorrow it opens. So that's pretty much from New Zealand. And so next is the Etihad and Israel Airlines have launched a new code share agreement that will see routes to share a host of global destinations from August onwards, including Australia, which is great. I hope everything opens again. So the agreement will also see EIAI also add the EY code to Etihad existing twice weekly flights from Abu Dhabi to Tel Aviv, and to mostly 14 destinations across the Middle East, Europe, Asia, US, by adding this code. So that means we will have a lot more options on Etihad platform when we fly around the world, especially to main 14 destinations, which is great. Next is from IATA. That's, I think, pretty much we hardly have any episode where we didn't tell you about IATA. This time also they got really good update for us. So IATA has launched a self-registration portal for its Travel Pass lab network, so making it easier for coronavirus test labs to join. IATA Lab Network provides a list of eligible locations around the globe, so travelers can easily find a location for a coronavirus test prior to travel, with a newly launched portal providing a one-stop shop for labs to self-register. That means wherever you fly, you'll have actually all these, test labs beforehand, and it's easy for the test labs as well to, coordinate and put everything forward. So that's really amazing. Relation to the IATA, we also got update from QR, so that's Qatar Airways. So Qatar Airways also announced its current trial with IATA Travel Pass, which will roll over further across its network from from next week onwards. So to be conducted in phases. We have discussed that before as well, that they were going to start, but I think it was a little bit paused and they are starting it further. So COVID-19 vaccination authorization system will initially be eligible to use for the cabin crew traveling from London, LA, New York, Paris, and Sydney. And after that, they will be doing to other destinations as well. Next up is from Etihad. So Etihad Airways has extended its verified to fly travel document initiative to routes right across its global networks. The services enables travelers to pre-validate their COVID-19 travel document before arriving to the airport, meaning that they can enjoy fast-track check-in via dedicated, verified to fly desks. So you don't have to stay in a very long queue. And I think it's really amazing initiative by Etihad called verified to fly. So you can just go straight check-in. It's pretty much like online check-ins you guys do. But because of COVID, there are a lot more documents and things which needs to be verified. And that's really amazing platform. Next update is from Cathay Pacific. These days, we don't really hear much about Cathay Pacific because it's not flying from Australia. And there was a time, we all used to take a lot of hauls and things and amazing shopping skills in Hong Kong. But yeah, this time they came up with something as well, which I thought I should share with you all. So Cathay Pacific has revealed a new premium travel lifestyle brand called Cathay, offering a range of promotions of dining, shopping, hotel, and wellness. The first of these offers will be a CX co-branded credit card, which will be launched in Hong Kong very, very soon. And then it will be rolled out to a number of global markets later on. And once the Cathay Pacific starts, then there'll be option for us to buy and take all these promotion offers as well. Next is from AirAsia. So AirAsia, basically after aspiring cases of COVID-19, Indonesia has promoted AirAsia Indonesia to suspend all the flights, all the domestic international services for at least a month to support the government authorities' efforts to suppress the latest outbreak. It's really going crazy in Indonesia, and it's really a great decision of AirAsia to suspend all the flights, though they were showing everything on website before. It's some domestic were flying, not much international, but yes, this time they said they're going to pause for the rest of the month. At this stage, passenger flight will not resume at least till 6th of August, so please don't book that, while cargo services will continue uninterrupted to carry crucial goods and medical supplies. I also got one nice news which I thought I'll share with you guys, is about Hyatt Regency that's in Koh Samui in Thailand. They have been revealed to the public for the very first time, a sprawling 140-room property that occupies 8 acres of private coastline in the far northeast corner of the island. Among the luxury resort, many features in the largest pool zone in Koh Samui, and a collection of interconnected pools that cascade down the main areas of the property's upper deck. So earlier it was not open for public that people can go and view, and not really, I understand, everyone can afford to stay in Hyatt Regency, especially those who are with big families. But it's really a very good initiative of them, really. Whoever is there in Thailand, they can go and view the property. Please can imagine, and hopefully in future people can go and stay there as well. So these are the main updates internationally at this stage in the
So 140 rooms on the 8 ICA property. Yeah, wow, that's quite cool. The Hyatt Regency there. So wonderful updates there on the international things. Look, there's still lots that are happening out there, and of course we need to be mindful of all the terms and conditions and be very careful on our health and making sure that all those restrictions are and of course health advice is adhered to. So taking all that in account, looking at also locally, nationally and internationally. So that's if people are traveling in these kind of times, and if they have to travel, what would be your advice and what tips do you have for them?
The very first tip would be, guys, please keep yourself updated on a regular basis. You can check our page. We keep posting whatever is happening. You can check our this weekly updates as well. We will tell you all the main updates happening throughout the week. So it's very important, and you can join those groups, Australians stuck in India, Indians stuck in Australia, where there are regular updates and a lot of tips for you guys to what you should do on regular basis. So being updated is the really main thing which you can do, and please check always the latest rules and regulations of the city or the state you're flying. It doesn't matter where you're flying, and I would highly recommend every single person to do a back check-in, even for your domestic flights, whenever you're flying in Australia or overseas. A day before, 24 hours before, just check the status of your flight, whether there's any changes happened, and also the same day before you leave home, try and check the status of your flight again, because sometimes things happens and changes last minute. Even I have seen one of the passengers 3-4 days ago, he didn't check his flight. He was flying from Melbourne to Sydney, and that local flight got cancelled because of Sydney thing, even though we advised, and he didn't check. Once he reached airport, he came to know the flight was preponed by 20 minutes, and he was even reached very last minute, and the boarding was closed. So it's very, very important, because things may change last minute which you don't have control, and the result of that was he could not go the same day. He had to stay there for a whole day, because the next direct flight was next day, basically, because the local flights got cancelled. So please always make sure that it's important. Also about the forms you need to fill. I have once again seen Australian declaration form is creating a lot of issues online. They are not going next page, and some people trying to do it very last minute. So, and one person was denied entry last week as well. So please make sure that you fill all those forms beforehand. You discuss with the agent or the airlines somewhere that there is a way to to fill that form. And if nothing happens, then there is an option to do it anyway option as well, which you can do. At least it will be recorded, and airlines will let you go. And you can try in different different laptops, and don't try in phone. It's really pathetic filling those forms online on the phone, because the web the in laptop it's different, and mobile system it's different. And don't leave it, please, to very last minute. That's important. And also those who are flying from Australia to India, if you're flying with Etihad, you have to take 2 self-reporting forms, physical ones, 2 copies. But if you're going with Qatar, they need 4 copies. We keep telling you all the time, but still, sometimes airline doesn't have 4 copies, and it's a lot of hassles and things which you really don't want to have hassle in last. So please make sure that as well. And please don't assume what other people tell you. Rules are the same what it has to be. I mean, different person's opinion doesn't change it. So always, for up-to-date information, check with the airlines or your agent. They would know, or on airlines website also you can see for the clarity. Those who are flying from Australia to India, your COVID test needs to be done 72 hours before your international flight. And from India, it's 48 before international flight. Don't add the time you are taking domestic flight from certain cities. It always counts from your international flight departure time and the time you have given your sample for COVID testing. So that's the only thing. If you have not seen any of your flights or you want to book later flights, you can always send us expression of interest as well, which we can forward it to airlines and make sure that you have flight at that time. At this stage, I won't recommend you to book anything in November or after. So maximum, I would say, if you're coming from India, book till October or something, October, November. And if you're flying from Australia to India also, book maximum till October, November, because situation can change anytime. And we would probably have more options and cheaper fares as we go close to the date, unless you are planning some big trips in December. Obviously, I know we're getting so many calls of people, they want to plan something for Christmas already. It's just 6 months, not even 6 months apart. At this stage, guys, I would say book only Australia, or you can think of New Zealand, no other countries. Even though there are some notifications that you have done 2 doses, you can still go overseas, except those who are, from different countries. So if you are from India, you can think of flying to India if you got the exemption, obviously, and you got the PR citizenship. But to other countries, even though they are showing, most of the airlines have got flights available on online websites, on their website, but please don't book them, because not every airlines is authorized to book. And that also means you might put your money, there sitting for the whole year. So at this stage, only recommended to do Australia or New Zealand. or maybe India if you got eligible documents. And please send us your questions if you want us to add anything else in this particular episode. We got 37 more episodes there on Australian Indian Radio, Within Indian Times, 10 Media, House and Your Travel, social media platforms. And also we keep sharing so many other news as well in between. So if you liked our episode, please share with your family and friends. It can be helpful to many. And please make sure you are safe and don't get stuck in any of the scams because you were so desperate, especially those who are stuck in India. That's very, very important because fares are damn crazy right now, starting at least $4,500 or $5,000 per person, which is a lot. And if you are flying, going and back and planning to come back from India in September, I would highly recommend you to book two-way flight because that means you can get that flight maybe in $3,000 while return flight is more than $6,000. So please consider all these advices and you can always contact me if you want any further advices on 04044032264 on our website, which is www.auxiliatravel.com.au, or on our Facebook page, which is Auxilia Travel. And you can see all our reviews as well. If you have flown with us before, then please share your reviews. And if you are coming from India to Australia, I would really request you to share your journey. It may take, we need really a page journey so people can read and that can give them motivation as well, that how to really come from India and it's really not that bad how you think. So please share all these experiences. That will be great. So thank you very much again for listening and we'll come back to you with more updates next week.
And thank you very much for that update. And I quite like what you said that, people can have all kinds of opinions, but that does not change the rules. So rules are rules. So, there are so many experts within our community that, sitting around talking to friends, they'll all become experts. But of course, everyone needs to be mindful of those rules and regulations, as you have rightfully mentioned there. So once again, Tanvi, thank you so much for those updates and all the listeners. So, please, if you have any questions, do contact Tanvi. She will oblige. And, as she has mentioned before, that you don't have to have booked your ticket through her. Even if you have any questions, general inquiries, please do contact her on the numbers which are here on the screen. And of course, you can contact her via Facebook or Messenger or anything. She will respond. That's my guarantee. So once again, thank you very much for being on the show, and in these uncertain times, still sharing this information with everyone. And you have been very consistent, not having missed 1 week since we started. So this is the 38th episode. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Umesh ji, and thank you everyone. Stay happy and safe. Jai Bharat, Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you.